Thunder, like you've seen it a million times.
Hey, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm David Steele, and here's my truck. Today we're in a Mack Super-Liner. I'm going to go ahead and jump in the cabin. There we go. So we're already running, already connected up to the cargo. I've just done that. We're using a Maxi Torque 18-speed transmission today. That's a Mack box. But the engine under the hood is most definitely not a Mack engine. This is a Cummins NT-400. I'll let that sink in for a second. Yes, it's a Cummins engine in a Mack, I know. And we're using a Mack transmission, I know. But that's because the Mack box is the best for the job. And, well, I guess the first owner of this truck really insisted on having a Cummins engine under the hood. And not only that, it's not exactly a special order engine. The NT-400 is the highest rated 14-litre, 855 cubic inch of the family, and at the time Cummins built their engines in a number of different factories. But this particular engine was only available from the Shotts, Scotland factory. You couldn't get it in any other factory. Now what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that was their premium engine factory, I suppose. It's characterful for a few reasons. I mean, one is, yeah, it produces 400 horsepower and just over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. That's my estimated number. That's the number that went into the Steele Productions Engine Pack, and yeah, that's what we used to get all that power. Good grief, there's so many gears. I don't think I needed the 18-speed gearbox, to be fair, but I suspect that this was used for heavy haul. Yes, so 400 horsepower, and that is produced at 2300 RPM as opposed to 2100 RPM for a more normal engine. So I say more normal. The 380, the Cummins NT-380 also had a governor of 2300 RPM. Stay where you are, SUV. And if you are used to how these engines sound, you may be thinking, this engine sounds a little different. Let's go ahead and just get the windows down, because the turbocharger is whistling a lot more. And it snorts a little bit too. Now that little is actually the transmission. It's an air shift gearbox, this one. So it is a manual. I am driving it in automated mode. So the computer is taking care of changing gear, but that whistle is most definitely louder. And as well it should be, because that's how I wanted it. So we're in, yeah, we're just gone into top gear now. I'm going to go ahead and get my cruise showing on the computer there. There we go. We get this bad boy up to 80. Should be able to reach 80. Let's talk a little bit more about this engine, excuse me. So the NT, yes, it's an 855 cubic inch or 14 litre. This is the block that has gone on with Cummins, or went on with Cummins, I should say, through the big cam years through to the N14. If you like, the NT is kind of the Cummins small cam engine. It's actually quite a likeable power plant. Get off the side of the road. It does need revs, and there's no getting away from that. But that's something of the timepiece. This is a '77 Mack Super-Liner. This engine is around about the same time period. I think it's spec'd in the Steele Productions Engine Pack a little earlier than that, but it didn't that much change. And yeah, it's fun. It sounds a bit more characterful than the normal NT engines. it does perform nice and strong. It does like to be revved. In fact, as we can see here, actually maybe need to be in the right-hand lane. Yes, I do. Wow, why did you brake test me? Alright, so I'm using the automated box, getting me back up to speed, and it's not going to rev perhaps as highly as I might do it, or if you turn off cruise and just drive it yourself, the adaptive technology will let the engine rev a little higher between those gear shifts. But I'm okay with that. It does have enough torque that you can pull a gradient. And as you've seen, the adaptive shift tries to keep the engine around about the sort of 14 to 1600 RPM in the upper gears, which is really where this engine starts to come on song. Fuel consumption is not the engine's strength, but it's not terrible either, and very much depending on what you're pulling, how you're pulling it, the roads and the hills. It's not that different to any of the other 14-litre engines from the same time period. Yes, you can burn more fuel on a trip like this where I've got an urgent delivery of glass to make, so I've got to get a move on. I need to get there sooner, and I'm not worried too much about fuel, but let's just check what am I doing for time. So I've got 4.5 hours. Yeah, I've got loads of time. So 4.5 hours is what it reckons I'm going to take me to get there. So I'll get there just before 8 o'clock tonight. But I've got 7 hours left in the trip, and 8 hours left in my shift. So we'll be able to hunker along at 80. Not necessarily a recommended cruising speed, but we'll not be cruising at this speed for long. In fact, it doesn't really want to go much over 2000 RPM, and that's not an engine limit as such. It's more of an aerodynamic limit. These are not the most aerodynamic of trucks, and we're all slowing down. Oh, I guess that lane's closed. Well, I'm going to merge out already, but I may have to brake. Yes, I didn't there, but I may have to. Okay. Oh, lane's blocked, so I can't get around easily here. I may have to double back on myself. Actually, there may be another way of yeah, it looks like that there's an alternative route. Back on a cruise. I've hit resume, let it take care of me getting back up to speed. I figured it was too good to be true, being able to get there at 80 the whole trip. Oh yeah, there's an easy diversion to make. Okay. I'm not exactly unhappy with that. Let's go ahead and kill the power.
Exit right.
Let's pull into town. So yeah, a nice run. Now this Super-Liner is brand new. I bought this especially for the trip because I wanted to show off this lipstick red color. But I've used the engine quite a bit. I mean, I had to, so I was testing it, and that's my excuse. And really wanted to get the turbo whistle. I wanted to choose the right whistle sound, and I'm happy with what I've done. Turn right at the Dream Burgers. We were not quite stationary there, but stationary enough. Yeah, I didn't need the 18 speed. I could have spec this with a 10 or a 12. It would have been completely fine, or maybe even a 9 speed. But I got it now, so we're just going to have to cope with all those gear changes. And in theory, we can squeeze a little extra miles per gallon from the truck because it's easy to keep it in its power band, though it's got quite a broad power band, and that's appreciated. It's quite easy to dismiss the older engines for having quite a narrow power band, but the reality is that you have to get used to how they drive, but they're okay for power purposes. I have no real complaints. Tyres today, they are part of the Freightliner FLB mod, That I think it's they're available for most trucks, if not all trucks. Once you've got the mod installed, you can use those FLB tires. That's nice. The wheels are the standard SCS steels. This is the 77, the Super-Liner Mark 1. Few cosmetic differences between this one and the later version, but I think the headlights and some of the pipe work in front of the tanks are a little different between the two, but it's very, very similar. Okay, let's go. See if I can manage to do this from this angle. It's a pretty loud turbo. You see, it's picking up speed strongly. I'm doing 25, and yes, I'm being a bit aggressive with the power, but I'm not nailing it, not completely. Typical that we get stopped by a train, though. Maybe I'll need those extra hours. I don't know. Let's see, how long was the train? No, it's not that long. Pretty nice view from up here. Whoa, that blue car just vanished. Dang. Can't move off yet because we've got a red light. So, it's disappointing. Can I see myself if I angle myself down? Yeah, just. There's nothing behind me. Oh, this is cool. We can go upside down. I've never tried that before. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that much, though. I think this view shows that when you play American Truck Simulator, that the world feels lived in. Now, there are games that are more immersive, that feel more lived in. But things like traffic flow, trains, traffic lights, cars around you, buses, other trucks. Feels lived in. Okay, so my green filter's gone. My filter to go left went green, and it's just gone to red, and now we get to go. But in theory, I just give it a bit of power, I won't crash into anything. I can hear myself, but I can't see myself. Oh, okay. I'm not drunk, officer, honest. Okay, I kind of maybe ran that light a little bit, but nothing crashed into me, and that blue car pickup truck waited patiently, so I'm good with that. Right, I think I better jump back into the cabin because we're about to leave visual on the screen. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, bit of lag there, and I was obviously using 2 lanes, but all right. But I wasn't speeding, so that's good. Okay, let's get off the powers. Quick check on my time. So 3 hours 45. Whoops, here we go. My bad. So 3 hours 45 left in the trip to drive, and 5 hours 40. So we've actually lost a bit of time, which I'm not surprised. But that railway line crossing didn't seem to be an hour, but okay. I've squeezed the power a little harder, and it's downshifted me 1, which is good. Now it will potentially use all 2300 revs through the gears if it needs to, but you got to be on a hill to make that happen. We're not really on a hill. Well, I'm not supposed to be on a gradient, but yeah. So it shifted up at 1900 revs. You can say this engine, he does benefit from being revved. It's a little bit of a Detroit 2-stroke in that regard. Weird phenomena even. Every time I seem to try and narrate something that's going on, I end up yawning away. That's because I don't talk for a while, and I start to talk and I don't breathe well enough. Still on my way up to 75. I'm going to use the cruise control. There we go. I'm squeezing the throttle on the controller, and it doesn't give me cramp after a while. Right, it looks like we've got a tight left-hand bend coming up. I'll keep it pegged for this first corner of 65, but I may have to just back off. Possibly even use the engine brake for this left-hand corner. Yeah, I think I will. Let's go ahead and just back it down to 55. I didn't add hood mirrors, and I'm beginning to regret that, I think, because I got to move my head to look around, but that's the end of the world. It's such a shame not to give it a boot full of power here at this point. It is an urgent delivery, and therefore I got to make the most of the road conditions, right? Now, we're going through this corner 15 miles an hour quicker than it recommends with fragile cargo behind me. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, we actually held the road there quite nicely. I expected the thing to start to understeer, but we didn't. Whoa. Okay, so bit of weight correction on the way back. And, yeah, I think actually I need to brake for this one. That was, that could have been scary. Right lane ends, okay, let's merge left. Back on the power. I'm being a little clumsy driving this, and it's because I'm trying to do too much at once. I don't necessarily need to use the cruise. I could stop being lazy and just give myself cramp. But there's something satisfying about using the cruise control in conjunction with the engine brake and the retarder if you've got one installed to kind of keep your speed where it should be. And it works better with a more powerful truck, a more powerful engine really, because that way you're actually able to put back the speed that you've just lost. There's brakes and windows with my engine brake here.
Go straight and then keep left.
Yeah, I gotta stop here. Check on the time. 2.5 hours left to drive, 4.5 hours left to get there. Okay. I could lose that time fairly easily if I'm not careful, but I'm hopefully going to be okay. Is bus turning off? Yes, okay. Where did he come from? That truck, I mean. Okay, thanks, Audi. That was really rude of me, but I don't like Audis, and that's just because life makes life's easier if you have a stereotype. Okay, there we go. Actually, supposed to be more particular. I'm not the biggest fan of Volkswagen Audi group. Anyway, all right. We won't speed through. Oh, really? It's kind of annoying. The speed drops down to 30 right when I get up to 40. If I wanted to do that all day, I'd go and play Euro Truck Simulator 2. Thanks very much. Okay.
Go straight.
Yeah, so I like the drama of this engine. When you ask it to increase speed, that whistle kicks on, and when you use the engine brake, you hear it whistling as well, and that's a good thing. And I think that reflects that, yeah, it's got a bigger turbo than perhaps your normal NT. Or was it bigger or just more aggressively tuned? Maybe both. Now, I don't think I'm going to get to 65 up here, and it looks like this corner might be a 50-55 limited. Or the recommended speed here, 55. So we'll put the cruise at 55. If we can get up to that speed, that'd be nice. Yeah, it feels kind of pedestrian at this speed, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. So a modern engine with 400 horsepower is probably going to be closer to maybe 1450 foot-pounds of torque at the least, possibly 1550. There are some 1750 foot-pound torque 400 horsepower engines as well from the Detroit diesel stable, DD13, DD15. So we've got a pretty chunky disadvantage at just over 1,000. 1,002. Now, I'd like it if this truck got up to 75. It looks like we got some dual carriageway coming up. We do. But we'll use the hill and we'll be real aggressive. We'll just stick it in the left-hand lane and we'll keep it there. And of course then I'll get embarrassed by not catching up to this rig in front of me. This is no one behind me. I'm going to merge right. Oh, there is someone behind me now, but I'm not going to overtake this rig in front of me anytime soon. I think he's doing 65. So we're climbing this hill at about 1700 revs, and yeah, the revs are dropping. Not going to downshift yet. Hopefully we can do it in this one gear. But it will downshift way more aggressive than some of the other engines. It wants to keep the revs up for me. Yeah, it went up that hill with I kind of want to say like a boss, but yeah, that's a decent way of going up the hill. We didn't need to change down. Revs got down to 1500. Engine's still perfectly happy at this sort of at that sort of speed, and so yeah, there's no drama really. Okay, I'm going to merge here. I'm going to put my cruiser 65 because we merge, and sometimes the AI is unable to merge without brake checking the vehicle behind them. We've lost a little bit more time again, but I don't think there's much I can do about that. There's no chance I can overtake like this car did in front of me, so okay. Chance to overtake anytime soon, I don't know. It looks like he's doing 60, not 65. And like here, there's just not enough space to be able to get around. I can't see far enough to get around him. It'll take me quite a while to get up to 75. So I'm just not going to try. It's not worth throwing all that fuel out the back through not gaining any time. Shame though, but we might get another sectional carriageway, or I suppose 4-lane maybe you might say if you were in America, or 3-lane if you've got 2 and the other oncoming traffic's only got 1. Oh, what's this? Do we all slow for the copper? What's something else going on? No, I think we slow down so this sheriff or deputy doesn't get squished. Well, very courteous traffic. That's always good to see. Alright, so I've got the hammer back down again, but it's not seemingly not doing that much. It's not all the way down. We could work this engine harder. Cummins NT then, it's part of the H family, Cummins H, when that family started in the early 1930s. The H evolved through the NH, which I don't know if that stands for New H or New Head or something, but either way, the engine evolved over the years, and after the NH came the NT, and this engine is badged an NT, an NT-400. The NTC is generally, well, that's typically what the big cam may or may not be called. And there were 4 generations of big cam officially, but there was a big cam 4 and a new big cam 4 that had quite a few improvements compared to the other one. And arguably the N14 was like a big cam 5 because that had a lot of big cam characteristics. But for whatever reason, Cummins called it something else. Rather than just call it the big cam, they did change the name of it. Okay, so we've got 2 lanes here, and I think it's a bit aggressive to use the left lane. But I'm going to because I'm almost at my destination though, so if I've got to turn left up here, I'm going to have to juggle my way into the right-hand lane again, but okay. And it got dark. Those wheels do look a little fat profile, a little chunky. Plus, of course, they're advertising who they are. Oh wait, I got that slightly wrong. Oh well. Yeah, as we go through the gears, it uses a few more revs. It has to whistle that little bit harder. I keep on going on about that whistle, but it was quite a few attempts to get it how I really wanted it to sound, to be happier with it. And when I did, yeah, I keep listening to it. I want to play tunes with it. Looks like we turn right up here, so I am in the wrong lane. And I don't know if there's an easier way I can get into the right lane. Well, there might be. Let's slow down. Oh, actually there is. Oh. That's interesting. Okay, well, he ran over, he stopped, and then he kept going. And from my perspective, it's bad news, because anything that comes up behind this wagon next to me, I've got to somehow figure out how to pull into that lane. And it doesn't look like I've got that much distance between me and where I need to be. Now, I could just kind of like inch forward in front, cross the white line, but I don't think that it's probably frowned upon. I say probably, it is frowned upon. Gold and silver, open 24 hours. Okay, so I want to move off, and then I don't want to tell the world I want to merge right, and hope that somebody lets me in, but it doesn't happen very often. Is this truck, is Mack gonna let me in? Maybe. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, well, that turned out for the good. He wasn't turning off, though. I might be struggling to move across all the way up here.
Go straight.
Good grief! Do you ever stop? Nice, it has a give way sign. Okay, fair enough.
Keep right. And then
That was a stroke of luck. But these lights turn to green just as we approach. It doesn't happen to me very often. So brake starts to turn in, feed in the power, and then boot it all the way. Yeah, and it downshifted. If I do that on a wet road, it will spin the rear tires. Sometimes just one at first, and then the rest of them.
straight.
If you've got a powerful enough engine and you don't have traction control turned on, you can give a bit of an oversteery movement. And depending on the circumstances, you can crash pretty easily. Ask me how I know. You can probably guess how I know. And you don't have to be in something with 700 horsepower or 2,000 odd horsepower. You can do it with something as powerful as 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Like this truck. Or like this engine at least.
Keep left.
Okay, so it wants me to turn. Oh, I see. I guess I gotta go over or under the road that I'm on.
Turn left.
Okay, that's doable. Down here on my left is a pretty tight right-hand corner, but that won't be much to dispatch. Quick check on my time. It reckons I'm 8 minutes away, and it's taken me 30 minutes just to get through the city to get to this point. Of course, every time you come to a halt, you got to change gear a bunch of times to get back up to speed. 10 miles an hour recommended for this corner. Take it a little wide. Right, and I think we clear it before this car gets here. All right. Back to the train is kind of epic. It's a pretty short train. Okay, so we go under. Don't know if this is the interstate, not the freeway, or just the main road to the city, but we travel under it, and then yeah, looks like it's just a business just up here on the right, so pretty straightforward then. that's the back of a repair shop. This white building with a red roof. So if I were to have damaged the truck, and I don't think I have, nope, I could drop it in there, get some work done onto it. But no, as it happened, I didn't manage to dent it in its first 300 miles of being used. So the entrance is turn right up here.
Turn right.
Turn in.
Turn right.
Yeah, it does feel like we've got maybe a few too many gears. I think because it's got quite a broad, it does have a broad power range. It might be easier if I just shifted myself.
It's all over now.
Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to do the difficult parking today. I do not feel like it. So we'll look at my metrics, but that just about wraps up today's video. So this is the high power Cummins NT 14-litre engine. In its day was looks like it was potentially a special order. It was only available from the one factory. Did that mean anything for the cost of it? It's a little more expensive in the Steele Productions Engine Pack versus the rest of the range, but it's not massively so. You don't have to mortgage your house to be able to get your hands on it. Okay, so 319 miles, 64 and a bit gallons burnt, so that's pretty much dead on 5 miles per gallon, which is very much in keeping with the rest of the NH and NT range, and that size ranges from 12 litres to 15.2. You can go there, get there a little quicker with the more powerful ones, but you don't tend to use that much more fuel. A little bit more, depending on circumstances, but we were going as quickly as we could for this trip, so I think in that context we did really good. Well, hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you have, you know exactly what to do, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.